That's right, we're doing a firework nail. This is an older one that I still had not had a chance to put onto YouTube, so I reshot it for YouTube in time for 4th of July. This one has always just reminded me of the smoky pink sky when you're going to a fireworks display. And those of you that have been around for a while will recognize this as a variation on the starburst technique. Let's do it. Okay, we are starting on a black base for this nail. And the main polish is going to be 2 coats of, this is the Mizhse, that my favorite one that flashes. It's pink, but also has the more orangey yellow, but with the green undertone, kind of a chameleon one. PLA has a similar one. This is number 21 in their Lunar cat eye set. You used to be able to get the Mizhse one as a single bottle on Amazon, and they changed the name to, I believe, Rose 9D cat eye, but now it's only available in 2 of their like 8 polish collections, which is what this little black bottle is from. And I will have these all in the Amazon list for the nail. And on this first coat, we want to magnetize it so it has the widest sort of color effect on it. This is kind of our border, but I do think this nail works best if you still have a slight black border around all of the edges, because we're going to put chrome on it. It just kind of helps keep everything differentiated a little. I think if you have the edges there, it has more of the smoky sky effect. And heads up, I think this nail is probably the worst one I do out of the ones I'm showing, just so you know. I've kind of, by the end of this, I was kind of like, it's okay. So what I'm saying is I would probably leave a larger border than what I'm doing right now. And do you see all of these cool colors we're getting in? That's what I really like this Mizhse polish, even though it's a little bit of a pain to find now. The PLA, I love those cat eyes, but it's definitely more of an intense pink color. And this one definitely lends itself more to the smoky sky effect. Okay, there's my first one. It could have more of a border on it. Now we're just going to go in with our second coat. And for this coat, we are focusing the magnet towards the middle. We want this to be magnetized in the center. And I'm still doing a full coat on the nail, but I'm just mushing the mag particles towards the center. And this doesn't have to be perfect, because this is supposed to sort of be mimicking just the puffs of smoky sky in the background. Okay, and that is what I have so far. And next we are going to go in with Yogurt Nails In the Mood for Love collection number 1, my favorite one. This is one of my favorite glitter collections because it's all Aurora glitters. It does have a sort of a milky base, so that can keep you from doing like everything with it, but I do love these. Any kind of Aurora glitter thing will work. This is a Korean brand. I believe you might be able to buy these individually now. I'm not really sure. And I'm only doing that in the center area of the nail. I don't want that everywhere. And then just because it's a thicker polish, just to help us out in general as we're building the nail, I'm just dabbing with my ombre brush, rake brush in Art World, same thing, just to smooth out the edges to help us. Oh, and that glitter gel was number 10 from that collection. And now it's time for even more glitter. So these are just chopped up confetti glitter. And you want it to be an Aurora glitter. That one is an orange, and then the other one has a turquoise flash. Those in particular I got from Moira. They are a Hungarian company, and I have had them for a while, and so I do not know how shipping costs might be affected these days if you're ordering straight from them. Any kind of Aurora chopped up confetti glitter will work, because I just feel like the chopped up confetti stuff works much better to give the impression of explosions and that energy of it. And I like to put a base coat down instead of just using top coat, since we're still in the middle of the nail. It just has better adhesion qualities to it, because we just need something to sink our glitter into so it sticks. Now, because I'm a freakazoid, and also kind of because of the particular glitter I have, some of it sticks together, and so you end up with a chunk that's way too opaque, which I don't like. I kind of hand place this glitter because this is kind of chopped up small stuff, and I just like picking the sizes, and I'm kind of doing it from the center out, and I'm just going to do a blend of both. And you just kind of do it until you like what it looks like. You can do more, you can do less. It's just going to slightly change the look of the nail. And voila, that's what I have for all my glitter. And this is going to make sort of a choppy surface on the nail, and it'll be better or worse depending on the type of glitter you have. But because our next layer is going to be scratching some thin straight lines in, I really want as smooth a surface as I can get, because it's going to be a nightmare trying to do that, chunking over all of that glitter. So I'm going to go in with a clear builder gel. I'm using the Nail Thoughts Clear Builder. You could probably use the base coat again. You might have to do 2 coats, whatever it is, you just want to smooth this out. And you could also go back, if it's not, to keep the nail, down in thickness, you could do a good, nice coat. And then if there's still a little bit showing, you could just file it a tiny bit, because we are going in with more gel on top. It's not going to ruin anything. Okay, do a full cure on that. And now we are on to our texture layer. I like the Sculpted gel paint. You can see I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel on this one, and I'm determined to use it all. I'm one of those people that when I bake, I take the spatula and I scrape that bowl clean, because that's supposed to be part of the recipe, dang it. Anyway, I don't know why I apply the Sculpted gel paint not with a brush. You totally can. I just always end up doing this. You need a much thinner coat than you think you would need to be able to scrape these detailed thin little lines in. And in fact, if it is too gloppy and you have too much, you are not going to be able to get nice crisp lines, because even when we are doing this, we're going to do it with a little toothpick, and as the gel starts to collect on the toothpick, you want to wipe that little extra off, because it's just going to make your lines a mess. Okay, now we're going to take our toothpick, and these are some very bougie toothpicks I have. They're bamboo hors d'oeuvre toothpicks. Thank you very much. So just start from the center and start scraping some lines in a starburst pattern. And you can see there's a bit of gel building up. This is kind of like my first pass. I just try to generally get it in there. And you can go over this until you like it. Sure, there's probably a point where you're going to scrape all the gel off. I've rarely reached that point. So, because you're going to have to get used to doing this, because you are trying to do straight lines on a curved surface that is super slick and slippery. So if you haven't done this before, it's going to take you a minute to get used to it. So you can, if you mess one up and it kind of goes off to the side and it's messing up that whole starbursty straight thing, you can just go over it and redo it. And I'm just going to fast forward this so you can see the process, but we're not bored to tears by it. So it does work best if you are keeping that toothpick perpendicular to the surface, because it's really easy, because you're working at such weird angles, to kind of start almost scraping almost the side of the toothpick on it, and then you're not going to get these skinny, crisp lines cut into it. Keep that little tip clean by keeping a little cloth in your hand. And you can also do a pattern. It doesn't have to be all of the straight lines. If you want to do kind of more of a firework spray and then it falling, when you get to those more middle striations, you can kind of arch them, if that makes any sense at all. All right, and that's what I have for mine. I like going over the lines a lot so that I am getting lots of thin lines. I think it just looks nicer and more crisp and not clunky. Okay, and I like to cure this stuff for 60 seconds before I put chrome on it. If you are working somewhere super warm, sometimes if you're taking a long time to do your line work, it can kind of soften some of the older lines. So you can always chill this gel a little bit beforehand if you're having that problem. Okay, it's our last step. It's time for chrome. That's the original nail I did. That is done with the Artdone set. It's a larger chrome set on Amazon, and there is just one particular Aurora blue in it. It's not an all Aurora set. There's a lot of different chromes. I really like that on the nail. It's kind of a paler blue. The one on the right, I used the Jin.b Purple Beam, and the Ungu also is a similar feel to the Purple Beam, and we're going to use the Ungu this time on the nail. They have a more intense purple. Those are both available at Sweetie. Jin.b is a Korean brand and Ungu is a Japanese brand. This is their Stunning Beam powder and it's cobalt blue. And we just want to get it in all the nooks and crannies, but I have to show this part because it's always magical when the first colors of the chrome goes on there. But you can see what an intense, I don't know, kind of purpley blue it is on this nail. And when you're done applying the chrome, you always want to try to buff it out with like your gloved finger. That is just going to help the chrome effect instead of it looking glittery and then just coming off in the top coat. Although you still need to be careful with your top coat. Okay, this is one of the hard calls with the more intense chromes. Sometimes they can overpower the center of the nail. So I would occasionally take a teeny tiny bit of rubbing alcohol and kind of lightly lift some chrome from the center of the nails. But it's a difficult judgment call to make because all of these Aurora chromes always look slightly more opaque than they're going to be in the end once top coat is on top. They get a little more transparent again. So you're not really seeing what it's going to look like in the end right now. And I had not used the Ungu chrome for this before, and I kind of took too much off. And now we're just going to top coat, and I'm going to use the Jin.b Crazy Top Soft, which I'm kind of really liking lately. And woohoo, there we go, fireworks nails. The one we just did is the second from the left, and you can see after the top coat is on, it's the blandest one up there. I really should not have taken the stuff off of it. You just can't tell sometimes. That center one is the original one I did, and that has the Artdone one, the lighter blue, and that one you do not have to remove anything. And also looking at all of these together, if we're critiquing my nails here, I think I could have even put more glitter on the one on the left, the one we just did. So that's our fireworks nail. I just wanted to do this in time so that if you wanted to actually do it for 4th of July, you had the time.